5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, and in-betweeners, on this week's On the Rocks Live from Home edition, Quarantine and Chill, we have the queen herself, no, not me, the Queen of Electro, the 8-time #1 Billboard ranking diva of fashion, art, and music. Luciana will be joining us with my guest co-host, fashion designer, and do-gooder, Daniel Sheehan, founder of Sheehan Company, and me, your favorite host with the sassy most. So raise a glass and let the drinks begin.
Life is a banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Lord have mercy, buns and bows and pantyhose, On the Rocks podcast, the place where we're too glam to give a damn. Today we got the Gucci. I literally had to put on real pants this week, and I was in for a shock. I hadn't worn real pants for a long time. Girl, my waistband is going to need more therapy than me after this pandemic. Today's show is brought to you by JustFor.fans, the top award-winning site, setting the gold standards for fans to connect with their stars and creators. Go to JustFor.fans.com today. Kurt, do you have a pun for us today?
Of course I have a pun for you.
Okay, make it snappy, make it quick.
Never lie to an X-ray technician. They can always see right through you.
Oh my God, Kurt, that was the worst one you have ever done. Come on, that was
You
awful.
say that every week.
I know. We're just going downhill. This show is brought to you by Straw Hat Media. You can watch and or listen to every one of our now over 200 episodes at ontherocksradioshow.com. New episodes drop every Thursday. Hello to our listeners around the nation on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Roku, Pandora's podcast section. Watch us on YouTube and the Facebook pages of Trendy Now app, GED Magazine, I Love Gay Lgbt, and of course on the Rocks Radio Show Facebook. And we are now streaming live on the Now Trending app every Tuesday. Add and subscribe to us on your favorite podcast player. Like us on Twitter and on Instagram at On The Rocks On Air. Send me an email. Book me for a wedding, funeral, quinceañera, bris. I don't care. Via Zoom. I will show up. Info at ontherocksradioshow.com. Send me your questions, comments, and nudes. Upcoming events. Just kidding. They're all canceled. But I will be taking part in the influencer online tasting for Disaronno's new Velvet Cream Liqueur via Zoom with influencers around the nation this Thursday with their brand ambassador, entertainment personality, Paul Zahn, hashtag Disaronno Velvet. So fancy. We're all going to be drinking at the same time. It's going to be amazing. All right, let me introduce my co-host for today. Daniel Sheehan is an American menswear designer, manufacturer, and lifestyle influencer. In 2016, he launched his namesake brand, Sheehan Company. What are you talking about? In Los Angeles, which quickly achieved international recognition. The vintage-inspired line boasts a curated selections of men's ready-to-wear and accessories, as well as made-to-measure, all proudly designed and produced in LA. The collection is inspired by Sheehan's lifelong love affair with vintage men. I mean, Americana. Learning about it over his 20 years in the fashion industry, prior to opening his namesake brand, he owned and operated Tantrum, a merchandising company where he created and implemented fashion trends on a global scale, in keeping with his mission to make fashion accessible. And it was fashion that brought Sheehan from his native New York to LA in 1998 when he was hand-selected by Joe Dahan to spearhead sales and merchandising for junior brand Joe's. And his own company's core brand values are integrity, quality, and attention to detail. Sheehan Company returns integrity to fashion, lovingly handcrafting each piece right here in the USA. And his latest endeavor is a COVID-inspired fashion line with our guest today, Luciana, that is literally supplying meals for those in need during this pandemic. And we're going to talk all about that and more later on in the show. But please welcome Daniel Sheehan.
Hey.
What's going on?
Well, thank you so much for having me on. Thank you for giving me a reason to shower.
I actually put cologne on for the show. Isn't that the weirdest thing?
I did the same thing. I'm like, God, do I need to do something else? I'm like, I'm actually going to be putting clean clothing on. I mean, I could go like 3 days right now.
Kinky. I heard that about you. And it's funny, you know, your little area behind you, like you're in your office, you look like one of those vintage movie hosts that would host like the midnight horror movies, and you would lean in and it had like the whole set behind you. Very mysterious and sexy.
Well, I'll let you know I was there, actually. You don't call me daddy for nothing.
So I know you on a personal level, and I know that there's a little Latino in you. No joke intended. But you grew up in an Irish and a Puerto Rican household in New York, which is literally a melting pot of America, of new America within a melting pot. How did that multicultural environment help you the most in the business world?
You know, I think that, listen, I think when there's diversity, I think just having done a stint in the South and seeing where I feel like the melting pot isn't as perverse as it is in Los Angeles or New York. It's commonplace in New York to be, you know, in an environment where, you know, there's Jewish Puerto Rican, there's, you know, Irish Puerto Rican, there's Irish Cuban, there's all sorts of mixing. And I think in the business world, you deal with all different types. You know, it really does take a village, especially in fashion. So I think, you know, it was an edge for me, especially speaking Spanish. I moved to Los Angeles 20 years ago. And at that time, I mean, we have a Latino base of designers, of craftsmen, you know, sewers, of pattern makers, and most of them are Latino. And it's, you know, it was a good advantage for me to be able to speak Spanish. And you know what? I'm sorry. When God made sexy, he made Puerto Ricans.
Well, I have dated a Puerto Rican, and you guys are very famous for your big personalities.
Yeah.
But what did you guys eat for Christmas? Did you have like tamales and cabbage? Like, what was happening?
Oh God, yeah, well, yeah, kind of. But here's the thing: my mother was a vegetarian, so it was my mother had, like, you know, every parent has got that thing where they've got the pet that was cooked. That was my mother. So our staple was rice and beans. So I was a gassy kid.
Lovely. Your very first fashion job was with Barry Ellis. As a fashion newbie, what surprised you most about working for a company like Barry Ellis?
Well, you know, I got to tell you, it was I was going to NYU, and I had to get a job. I was in over my head financially.
Yeah.
And at that time there was temp agencies. You remember temp agencies? You could go and go in, they would have answering phones, or you'd be this person's assistant for a week because, you know, this one was on vacation. Well, as luck would have it, I was this like androgynous kid, believe it, really androgynous with long hair. And
really?
Yeah, I just fit the mold. And there was a whole bunch of queens there that were like, I came in and I was like, kind of like poorly dressed, a little disheveled, and they were like, project. You know, I caught the bug. I mean, there's something magic about fashion. There's something magic about the transformation that happens. And being in New York, and then all of a sudden at the height of 90s fashion, at New York, Marc Jacobs was there. He was the designer for Barry Ellis at the time. Everyone was spending 80% of their income on what they wore. Yep. It was a vibe of like, I'm going to look good, and you know, it doesn't matter what's going on behind the scenes. I'm putting my A game out as far as my appearance. And I caught the bug. It was like, literally, I loved it. It was passion that just filled me. So here I am.
And your current line is such a blend, like I said, of it's vintage, it's masculine. There's also a playful diva element to it as well. How did your obsession with vintage start?
You know what? It's it was my obsession with daddies. No, not at all. You know, I always wanted to, even when I wasn't designing, I always wanted to look a little bit different. And so I was the kid who would go to the Salvation Army, and I would go and I would, you know, I would take my mother's sewing machine and I would like recreate, and I would just make some cool shit to make myself look a little bit different. When I wanted to start my own line, I found myself, especially approaching my 40s, I found myself in this weird conundrum. You know, I was hanging out with guys who were a lot younger than me, and I felt like I was in a different group. I didn't want to wear stuff that was necessarily from Urban Outfitters. I didn't want to have that same t-shirt on it. Well, at the same time, if I was going to wear clothing that was for my age group, it was fuddy-duddy. It was old and frumpy, and I wasn't ready for that yet. I still wanted to be relevant. So I always wore vintage, and it kind of brought me back to the day, the things that I really loved were these pieces that I bought years and years ago at Gedstock fairs, where I would go in Brooklyn, going through old factories and finding cool stuff. I wanted to recreate that stuff because I still felt it was maybe too dingy to wear. And that's how it manifested. That's really what happened. It's I started recreating vintage pieces that I loved and really finding some amazing details in the mistakes that happened years ago in fashion that you learn to avoid as a seasoned manufacturer. And boy, it really hit for me. So it was, and there's another piece of the line and the vintage factor about it. I love the idea of swimming upstream. It's about, for me, it's fashion's an echo of my life, of who I am right now. And it is a little devious. It's a little cute. It's a little to what society tells me I have to be. One of the shirts I did was tall, silver, and handsome. And it was actually a joke because everyone's tall, dark, and handsome. And it's I'm going to be tall, silver, and handsome, man. So whatever, or the bad things about being gay, being a mama's boy, boys don't cry. So do t-shirts badass mama's boy, badass. I'm a mama's boy. I love my mama, so there's a narrative in the t-shirts. There is a swim upstream kind of vintage sass to it that I love. So yeah, I think I love the way you describe my line. Thank you. So
well, and I love that. I was the kid in high school and we had uniforms, but I would add suspenders. I would add spats. I would wear two-tone shoes before they were being sold. I would paint the white section on a black shoe to create my own two-tones.
Oh my God, that's so cute. I love that. Would you do that with the lace underwear too?
No, but I made gin in the bathtub.
I gotta say, you're looking pretty good. You're looking fine. It's been over a year since I've seen you last. You're looking good, Daddy.
I think it's been 2 years, by the way, Daniel.
It's been 2 years. Wow.
And I have a little artifact for you. 2 years ago, we hung out in WeHo after the show, and it got quite messy, and I stole your ring. I still have it.
My favorite cock ring.
Well, I'm very excited. As we know that small business owners are going through a lot right now, especially during the pandemic. And so you're kind of doing something different with your line to, number one, keep your name out there, but also to help the community. And you partnered up with our guest of honor today. So we're going to talk all about it. So I want to bring on the queen of the hour and a queen among other queens, Luciana, artist, actress, fashion maven, singer, and songwriter. Luciana's in-your-face, punk-edged vocals have won her a legion of fans since she first grabbed international attention with the groundbreaking UK Platinum Body Rocks track, Yeah Yeah, for which she received critical acclaim and a prestigious Ivor Novello Award nomination.
Wow.
And her recent re-release of Yeah Yeah, a remix with Grammy Award-winning producer David Day, reached #1 on Billboard in the US, marking her 8th Billboard #1.
Yeah.
And of course, we know her smash hit, I Like That, with Static Revenger and Richard Vission topped the US Billboard Dance Chart in 2011, reaching double platinum sales in Australia, and has since gone on to become a global club anthem, with the music video garnering over 14 million YouTube views to date. And her collaboration with South American megastar Juan Magán went #1 in 9 countries on the first day of release and went platinum within 2 weeks. The video rocketed up to 80 million YouTube views in less than 4 months. Refresh, baby. That's what I was doing.
I sound very busy.
She has proven that she will continue to give music lovers her signature sound that stays in demand by fans and industry supporters alike. And of course, the gays almost dropped dead with her video with Golden Girls' Betty White for I'm Still Hot, a song that inspired many of my drunken nights, by the way.
I need those details. You've got to tell me those details.
Microsoft chose her track, guess what, as the official song for their 2019 worldwide online campaign. And with a new website and new music on the way, what else has she been up to? Teaming up with Sheehan Company, her handcrafted fashion line is raising money for good. Long may she reign. Please welcome Luciana.
An introduction. The only thing I can do to that introduction is this. and then maybe this. I mean, seriously, you've made...
You are ready, baby.
She's very
ready.
Busy. She's very busy.
Were you like a diva from birth? Like, did you come out of the womb just like a diva?
Yeah, I'm Italian. I was born a no. Let me take. First of all, let me take these glasses off. They were. I'm gonna put these ones on. Can you see me? Oh my god.
Ooh, yes, girl.
Right, I'm gonna do that more. Right. Honestly, that is the most. In fact, what you've written, can you send it to me so I can tell myself that every day?
Your morning affirmations, right?
Yeah. And I just want to bring you around to parties, Alex, and have you introduce me.
Yeah. Thank you. What was the question? Was I born a diva? Absolutely not. First of all, when I was born, they thought I was a boy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my dad was like, "Oh my God, did you say boy? Oh no, it's a girl."
Like, girl, you better check that. But you were born in London.
Yes.
I won't say in what year because a lady never reveals her age. I know I have it.
I'm totally happy with you telling. I'm totally owning my age. I'm 76. Thanks.
Somewhere Cher's like, no, she isn't wrong. But you were born at such a time. What a fantastic. We were talking about melting pots. Born in London in such an amazing time of a melting pot of music. So many different influences and sounds.
Yeah.
What was the first kind of influence you remember that said to you, wow, this really affected me. I really want to be a singer?
Well, it was really funny because I wasn't actually a great singer, but I could do really good impressions. But the first stuff that I used to listen to, the first record I ever bought was Golden Brown, the Stranglers. And then the first stuff I'd listened to was like reggae and ska music. And then I was like into like acid jazz and Tower Power, went the opposite way. And then I started listening to dance music. But so the dance music and the post-punk, the whole Blondie vibe was when I thought, yeah. And that's when I sort of like found my footing. But when I found my voice, when I was like started shouting, was when was just after I've done an album basically on Ireland that nobody's ever heard, which is a great album. But that's when I found my voice and my punk voice.
I think Chris has heard that album, to be honest with you. Chris has heard that album.
Cheers, everyone, by the way.
Cheers, sweetie. Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Cheers. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, darling. Yeah.
Oh. When was the first time you sang in public? So you weren't like a singer in school. You weren't singing at the assembly or anything.
Well, I did. I was like I said. I wasn't. My best friend was the singer. She was the singer, and I was like, yeah. I mean, look at me. I can sort of like not do anything great, but sort of do things. But I could always do art. I was art. And then I was like, I wanted to just sort of like do things. So I was good singing. Well, I was all right. So she was the singer. And then she got me up on stage. And then when I was 15, I joined a soul band. I started doing backing vocals. But Sally, I think you better slow that Mustang down. That's when you're 15. So I did that. So I've always done it. And then when I was 18, I got my first record deal. And I was doing R&B. I don't know if anyone's heard that, but it was like pop R&B. And when you're 18, you don't really know who you are. So you're just sort of doing the moves that you do, that you've learned. So
yeah,
that was that. But yes, that's it. That's the signature sound anyway for the yeah. The yeah was the signature sound, I think, and the post-punk Blondie.
Well, and you hit the UK charts many, many times, starting, in your very early career. Was it tough having that kind of success so early on? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't think I had success. In my mind at the time, I felt like I was always like 2 years ahead. So I'd had these really big record deals and all this excitement surrounding it, but I didn't actually have big success. In fact, I was crying when I was 21, thinking my life was over. So what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And then then I cried for another couple of years. Then I got a record deal and I was with the Sony record deal, and that was a really big deal. So it wasn't until so I've been doing it since I was 18, and then look at me with my pen, it's all very important. She's doing it. And then it didn't happen for me till I was 30. And I'm 46 now. Okay, so I was 18 to 30, and I thought I was like, oh my God, I haven't paid my mum and dad's mortgage, I've failed. but of course you haven't, because you've sustained your living through music.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, so that was it. So, and then the yeah thing happened. So I didn't feel successful. I felt like I didn't really know who I was, and until the post-punk album, the unheard album on Island, which is when I was 29, and then the yeah track, because that's when I was giving up. I was like, right, I'm giving up. I'm doing art. I'm gonna eat cake and I'm gonna do art because I don't want to be in the industry anymore. And then the track, the Dee Ramirez track came in, and it had that sound, and nobody had ever heard that sound. And I said to my writing partner, I can't pitch to it. He said, shut your mouth and go and write to it. So I wrote that, and it was actually, this is me being honest now, because I pretended it was about a relationship. It was actually it was me saying how I felt to the industry. I was so hated the industry at the time. So I was like, yeah, Vicky got it all worked out. But you don't know nothing. So and then 11 weeks later, it was the track that changed me, and the track that got me to perform all across the world. So it was from the age of 30 that it actually happened.
Well, and we know you as a solo artist, but you also worked in the band format. You replaced a singer in Crush. You sang lead for Shooter.
You've really blown it. Yeah.
Did you like working in a band format? What did you learn most from singing in a band?
I learned how. Well, that's where you learn how to work a stage, and you learn musicality, and you learn, how to be. You learn how to be yourself and how to perform, and the craft of being a performer, and also songwriting. Because my dad said to me, you have to do something, and you have to do one thing well. So what are you going to do? Because I was like okay at a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, right, I'm going to do music because I'd had the record deal when I was 18. I'm going to focus on writing, and I think that's the thing that sustained me, is being able to write all the tracks. If I didn't write, I don't think I'd still be here. She's 104, never left the system yet.
Now, creatively speaking, and Daniel, I'd like you to chime in too, as a creator. When you have to create for other people, like you've written songs for Britney Spears, Kylie Minogue, Havana Brown. How is that done creatively? Do you write a song and be like, oh, let them sing it, or do you write it knowing that they're going to sing it? How does that work out, and how does that kind of work with your creativity?
Oh, well, I could do a good impression of Britney. So when
yeah.
Once said it's like she communicating with dolphins. She's so lovely. So we did that song for her, and then that was Richard Vision, and that happened. I'm not being over. I love her. She's amazing. It's like, what is she saying to the dolphin? Is she responding? Yeah. It feels different because, what happens is as well, when you because I was signed to Sony and EMI as a writer, and what happens is I go and write for loads of other artists as well, and then I said to Nick, I don't want to do this anymore, because they go, we've got an artist, she's a cross between Pink and Avril Lavigne, and we want you to go in and be really quirky. I'm just like sitting in the room going, okay, with no windows. Don't want to do it anymore. But with the Kylie thing, that was a dream come true, because we got to work with Swedish House Mafia. Yeah. And obviously it's Kylie. I mean, Kylie. I'm just so in love with her. Oh, and Havana's my friend, and she'd been working with us before. Yeah, we did a couple of tracks with Havana. A few tracks actually.
It's funny about Kylie. We have like the Britney Spears. We have other artists that have their ups and downs, and the public loves them. And the next day, like, oh, even Madonna. Now everybody's hating on Madonna. Kylie Minogue.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Madonna?
I think she's listening to too many other people, and she's not in charge of her own ideas anymore. She wants to be the cool kid when she should age gracefully.
It's so funny. I was just, I've got a guy that works with me, and he's a huge music fan, and he's like, he was playing a lot of Madonna the other day, and I was saying the same thing about the fashion. It feels like the square peg is being forced through the round hole a little bit, because I have a lot of respect for her as an artist. But for me, from a fashion perspective, it's kind of like,
What do you mean what she's wearing, Daniel?
Well, yeah, I think it's a whole aesthetic. I think music and fashion, they run tandem.
Totally.
And, I think that sometimes like there's even, I think a certain, for me, at least as consuming music and then also like seeing how it relates to fashion, I feel like a little bit like it's a little too hard for me to digest, because I want to have a little bit of grace in where I'm at in my life and kind of love it, as opposed to kind of, I'm going to do this because, and that's the way it feels.
We were saying that, Alexander, Daniel and I, because I'm 46 and I'm like totally owning it. Not even going to pretend I'm like 42 or. I love
Girl,
it.
I mean, you look so good though. It's easy to say when you look that good.
Darling, she's got a ring light. I take it everywhere. I take it into Trader Joe's with me. I'm like that.
Chris,
what I was going to say was, it's like, because I'm very aware of what we'd say. You're talking about Madonna, and I'm like, and listen, if she wants to wear that, fabulous. All fairness to her, brilliant. That's what you want to do. I'm like, I'm 46. How long can you go on stage for? Put your drag tights on and sing "I'm Still Hot." How long can you sing "I'm Still Hot" without being a parody of yourself? How long can that happen? And I'm like, let's exit stage left very gracefully.
But I think that's what's amazing about you. Yeah.
But there's the other side of that. I think it has to do with a bit of sincerity. Like Cher is still doing that. She's still wearing her outfits,
I love her.
but she has a sincerity about her.
It's fun, isn't she? She takes the piss out of herself.
Yeah. Well, it's being a little self-deprecating, being able to like make fun of yourself a little bit.
Absolutely.
I love that. Like, if you could have a little bit of joy and fun in the fact of where you're at, it's as opposed to.
Yeah, that's why Alexander's right. You're spot on with that. There's the sincerity and there's the humour with it. It's like, otherwise, what are we doing? But then, what do you think Madonna maybe takes herself a bit too seriously?
Yes. You know what happened is when she started to live in a bubble, when we started to see how she was doing weird things, she was eating weird foods. I call it the Gwyneth Paltrow syndrome. When they get into a bubble and they're making soup out of rocks from an ostrich butt, and they what is happening?
You should tweet that.
Yeah. But I think it's like it's out of touch with what's really happening, out of touch with reality. And when you get in that bubble, like I talk to a lot of Bravo TV stars, and they get in that Bravo TV bubble, and they have no idea how the real world is reacting.
When I watch it, because I'm just sort of like you're watching it from a distance, and you're not involved in the like detail of what they're saying, but they're really like detailed about. I can't believe she said that to me, and I can't believe she was wearing that when she knew I had the same dress on, type thing. It's like a sort of really boring, mundane thing, but it's like really dramatic. And I'm like, is that real? Is it real? That's important. But it is
Bravo is real.
Yeah. TV.
But I think because Madonna is in that bubble, I think she's still in that bubble. She wasn't hearing different sounds, and she was losing what she liked to hear, what she liked to sing. And she used to be ahead of the time. Like Ray of Light was so
wasn't it
changing for her career. And I have to tell you, I was not a Madonna fan until Ray of Light, and then that was the first album I ever listened to. But she was setting her own sound. She wanted to do what she wanted to do, not what people were saying. Hey, the kids are doing this. You should do this.
Yeah.
I got to say one story that I'd heard, which I think is so awful, but just like she's got to take. So anyway, so that she met. I don't know if you know this. It's quite a famous story. Stop me if you have.
I still won't stop you because I want.
Oh, okay. So she met the writers of Like a Virgin. You know the story? You know the story,
No.
Yes.
She met the writers of Like a Virgin, and they were so excited to meet her. They're like, oh my God, we've always wanted to write for Madonna. She's amazing. Oh. So they're like, oh my God, she's coming to us. She's at the party. She's at the party. We're going to see her. We're going to see her. At the party, we're going to see her. We're going to meet her. She's coming. So then the guy says, this is so-and-so and so-and-so, and they wrote Like a Virgin for you. And he goes, oh, Madonna, we're so excited to see you. We've been so looking forward to meeting you. And she says, well, now you have. How horrible is that?
Oh, my God.
Isn't that horrible? We're so looking forward to meeting you, and now you have. I'm like,
oh, my God.
Oh!
You know, Daniel does that same thing. He says the same thing at the sex club. He says that same thing all around.
Yeah, it's
Now
kind of
you
hard to
have.
say that with my face down.
Oh, that's brilliant. I want to see Daniel dancing under this light.
Oh no, girl, I am not moving myself from the ring light. In fact, as the sun goes down, I'm like, Chris, move it a little bit over.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's all about the no bags and the shadows.
We're all going to leave this pandemic and we're not going to recognize anybody. Number one, nobody will know how to wear pants anymore, and we're all going to look like, girl, you was ugly.
Oh, I love it.
On that note, we're going to take a really quick break, and when we come back, we have more. Okay, and we're back from our break. It goes that quickly.
Okay.
We'll do all the commercials later. There we go. So, Luciana, I have to know, where were you when you heard that you hit the Billboard #1 for the first time? Where were you? Who told you? Who did you call first?
Well, that was with Dave All Day, wasn't it? So, and I think that was the Aisha Coco track. I don't know if you know that track. It was a track that was an alter ego I did because I was singing a soulful vocal.
Yeah.
So Aisha Coco, and the track was called "Figure It Out" with Dave All Day. And I remember thinking, I'm sorry, is that correct? Is that actually true? And then I got told by Bobby Shaw from Billboard, and I started crying. So I remember being in my garden at the time, and that's when I started doing high kicks around the pool.
I love it.
Yeah.
And some of your listeners do not know about your duo. There's Luciana and there's Aisha Coco, the same vocalist. Two separate voices. And tell me the thinking about establishing those two personas.
Well, do you know what? I've only ever done it once with the Aisha Coco, and it's only because I was trying to establish myself as like, I think you got it all worked out, because I just came over and I hadn't done I don't think I've done I Like That yet. Or you tell me, Alexander, had I? Maybe I had. And it's all a blur, darling. It's all a blur.
Wait, there's two alter egos?
I just did a soulful vocal stuff, like it was like talking about figuring out. So it's like that. So I'm like, okay, I've got. So we just put Aisha Coco, and in London, Aisha Coco means I should think so.
Yeah.
Aisha Coco. Yeah. I thought Aisha Coco was a fun sort of play on words, but yeah, that's just it. That was just one thing I did.
I did not know that about the origin of Aisha Coco. I'm going to use that as my.
Aisha Coco, we say in London.
I did not know that.
Alexander, take it and make it your own. Take it and make it your own.
Daniel, I think there's a T-shirt in there. There's another T-shirt in that.
But funny, it's like Luciana and I lived in the same part of London. We didn't know each other then, but lived in the same part of London at the same time.
Yes.
Back in the late 90s. I lived there for 4 years. It's funny, we were spitballing the other day.
We would have been all to the clubs together, probably, but not knowing each other. Obviously, we're the same age.
Luciana, the gays would never forgive me if I didn't ask, how in the hell do you end up with Betty White for I'm Still Hot? Who made that suggestion?
Oh my God, you're going to love this story. This is a brilliant story. So I'm in a club in San Francisco. Let's start there. And I'm in a club where you're not washing your armpits. It's that kind of like real beefy man's bear club. And I'm loving it. Everywhere across the States, I've been to a bear club. Everywhere I've been to bear club. So I do the gig, I do a Pride, and I'll go to a bear club with my tour manager. Who's there? So I'm in this bear club, and my tour manager says, this man called Dominic wants to talk to you. He said, but before you talk to him, you have to smell his armpit. And I'm like, okay. What happened? This is the truth. So I go up to this guy, and he's like 6'4", and he's got no top on, and he's like, like that. Harness, like that.
Yeah.
And I go, hello, Dom. I've got to smell your armpit, apparently. So I'm like, I lift up and go, I've got heels on as well. That was lovely. It was lovely. I went, I said, that's lovely, Dom. Really nice. Now tell me what you want to talk about. And he said, right, he said, I've got this client Betty White. We've done 9.
Wow.
I know. I attempts at Lifeline. He said, and no, she hasn't liked any of them. He said, well, I heard your track, I'm Still Hot. Would you be prepared to do a video with Betty White? If she says yes, would you do it? I'm like, absolutely. So anyway, she said yes. She heard the track, and then obviously we changed the lyrics for her. She comes to my house. She does the vocal at my house. Just think about that, Betty White.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So she comes in and like Nick's like, just be cool. Just be cool. And I'm like, golden girl's coming to my house. I'm like, oh. I'm into the house and I went, you all right, Betty? She went, yeah. I went, do you want a cup of tea? She went, no, dear. I said, do you want a sandwich? I got all coffee.
What, cheesecake?
Yeah, no, yeah. She didn't know that at the time. So I said, do you want a sandwich? She said, she went, no, dear. I went, do you want a shot of vodka? She went, this was like 10 in the morning. She stops at 1 because, you know, she's like getting up at 4.
Yeah.
So she goes, she goes, no, thank you, dear. I've had my shot of vodka. And then she goes into the studio and then she's like, I got with the lifeline. I got, but she's acting the word I got.
Yeah.
All time. I may be a senior, but so what? I'm still hot. Really, really slow. And Nick's like, Betty, you've got I hooked up with the lifeline. I got big passion. Oh yeah, okay. Anyway, so it took us like 4 hours to do the vocal. Like cut it all up. But yeah, that was it. That's my Betty White story. And then I'm like on the set with her, and I'm like, I'm doing a video with Betty White. It's just, I mean, hello, how amazing is that? And then how brilliant is that line? I rock your world with my cheesecake.
Yeah.
So much fun. Yeah. And then we were supposed to do the Abbey. You know the Abbey, Alexander? We had the event at the Abbey, and we were supposed to both put our hands down. You know, like the Hollywood hands.
Yeah.
She couldn't do it because she couldn't bend down. I was really gutted. So we would have been Betty White and Luciana as you entered the Abbey, you know, with your hands in the cement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my Betty White story. Isn't it fab?
Yes.
Yeah. I will always have that, and I cherish that. What a lovely moment to have had.
Well, and this just goes to your career. You know, you worked with so many different types of people, and that's what I love about your personality. It's so encompassing and it's so inclusive. You have been an ally and a pride performer for so long. How did your relationship with the LGBT community kind of start?
Well, it's just my family. It's just who I am. It's part of my essence, my DNA. From you know, from when I was little, it's always been surrounded by that and my family, and it's always been who I am. It's not even a thought process. And then when I moved here, you know, because of the I Like That track, I got to do all the prides across the whole of America. It's amazing. And then I got to do San Francisco Pride. Got very drunk after that, but yeah, it was brilliant. Brilliant.
Girl, prides are so dangerous. Prides are I MC a lot of pride events because they have alcohol backstage and you think it's a party and then you hit yourself in the head with the microphone. It's
exactly. And then, one of the reasons why I fall about on stage is because I can't dance in heels. That's actually true. So I'm like, so I thought try and talk a bit more drag with it, you know. So
it's like your signature move.
Yeah, it's a signature move, and it literally starts from the fact that I can't dance in heels. Like, trying to work that.
I want to talk about your art, and you can see the art on your website. Oh, and right there behind you, it's a mixture of photography, painting, silver gold leaf, and it's centered around icons.
Yes.
It's so vivid. How is your creative process different for one of your pieces than creating music? And I love that Elizabeth Taylor. I have not seen that Elizabeth Taylor.
No, babe, just go to my site. She's on there.
She's gorgeous.
Isn't she?
So, you know,
she's
Elizabeth
like,
Taylor
face the day without perfume.
Yeah. That's what Daniel and I were talking about. We actually put cologne on today.
Oh, she's fabulous.
And showered.
Yeah, so you just go to the website, Alexander, and it's music, art, and fashion, and it's all merged. That's not a word, but into that. It's all one. And then
it's so streamlined and it's so easy. So Elizabeth Taylor went to the Abbey in West Hollywood every day at 4 p.m. Yeah, they would wheel her in. She would have 2 dry martinis, and they would wheel her out.
Wow.
In her Maybach, by the way, Maybach.
Happy.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you go in, that's the section to the right, isn't it, of her?
Yeah, and that's where they have her painting, because that's where she would go all the time.
Oh, I need to speak to the Abbey. Do another painting.
Yeah. That's. That's such a great idea.
Put this down, Alexander.
And then we'll do a little pop-up performance. Ooh.
Yeah.
Maybe a little
pop-up
shop
performance / fashion show.
We'll sell the t-shirts. I want to show you these. Oh, I'll let you do the lead-in.
So I want to talk about this collaboration with Daniel Sheehan. You're so good, Luciana. You're
because I'm sitting on the t-shirt. I felt it on my back, my spine.
Was your spine tingling?
It's so sick.
This whole thing.
The funny thing, Angeline is a Hollywood personality. She sells t-shirts out of the trunk of her car, and you cannot take a picture with her or talk to her unless you buy her t-shirt.
Buy something.
Oh my God, I've got to Google her. She sounds fabulous. Do you know her, Daniel?
I do.
With the lips.
She's got everything. Like, it's like if she was a car, she's the loaded pack. She's got the 6 CD changer. She's got the Sirius radio. Not the basic model.
I love it. Well, I'm Googling that. What's happening?
Yeah, in fact, Emily Rossum is playing her in a biopic.
I love that you know this. You're a wealth of information, aren't you?
But I will say something about Angeline that I really do like. She's one of the first iconic. She's iconic to Los Angeles.
Oh yeah,
that woman hustles, and I respect her.
Yeah.
She is out there, and she is. She's been trying to make it big for years, and she has, and she's made it in this because she's become part of the fiber. I think that attracts us to Los Angeles. It's like.
Is she the girl in the pink car?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I saw her the other day. She's like an anomaly. She's like.
Yeah.
And she had a billboard on Sunset Boulevard for I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
That's her name. Oh my God, I love
that. She hustles. She works. She's working it. I mad respect for that woman. I like it.
Yeah, totally.
But I want to talk about I want to talk about your fashion project with Daniel. Daniel called me and he says, "Oh, I'm working on something really great." I'm like, "Wow, a small business owner that's working through this pandemic. I got to hear this." Daniel, would you like to talk about what's happening as a small business owner, what you're doing, and how this idea came about?
Well, listen, there's one thing about Misery. She's having a party, and we're all in it. And so what happened was, as a joke. I mean, it's like, and Luciana, you can relate to this. As a creative person, I had to let my staff go, not because it was just mandate. We have to quarantine. So I am not good in isolation. I'm gonna admit it. There's things in my life I'm not good at. I'm not good at being alone. And I was just going crazy. So I started making t-shirts. Just like I was in the bodega around the corner from me, and there was a man going like right behind me, and I wanted to say, "Back the fuck up, man! Social distancing." And I went back, and I'm like, "Back the fuck up! Back the fuck up! Social distancing." So I'm like. No joke. I'm like, Amazon's still delivering. So I'm like, what is this cricket thing? So I literally, order this thing, and I'm like, I'm gonna make a fucking t-shirt today. I make this t-shirt, I put it live, I sell like 50 of them full price, and then guilt comes over me because I'm like,
oh, that's good.
I'm selling this stuff right now. I can fulfill it on my own, but you want to know something? I want to have a business for my employees to come back to. I've got celebrity connections here. Let me do something. So I reached out to a couple. I reached out to Shopify, and I reached out to this amazing company called Shop for Good. And I'm like, I have an idea, and I think it's a platform, and I think I can use some of my connections in the celebrity world, and I think I can use what I can do from here to inspire people to have a laugh, because that's kind of dark right now.
Yeah.
B, do something that gives back. And something, we shouldn't be bashful about small business. Small business employs people. and I'm able to. I have doors that can stay open. So come the 18th, I'm going to be able to employ people again. It's amazing. I'm so proud of that, and I'm so proud of really digging in and seeing my friends in the celebrity world who want to participate. By the way, it's very funny.
That's becoming very apparent, by the way.
I do want to point something out because, I won't name names, but I will tell you, I have done a lot of things for a lot of celebrities. And it's funny, you see in these times, like, hey, I need a dress. I've got a music video. Hey, I need this. I'm going to be, doing this makeup campaign. I need something made for me, like super fast. You're my friend. This is what sets you apart as well. I have a number of celebrities that I've been collaborating with on this, but I have to say, Luciana really shines. There's not even a, yeah, what are we doing? What are we doing? I want to help. I want to help. I want to help. I want to help. How many meals have we raised? How many meals have we raised? As opposed to watching everyone's Instagrams who are in their bubble. What gourmet meal have we had today that my boyfriend made?
Yeah.
Well, what eyeshadow can I promote? And it's kind of like, wow, guys, look, I live in a working class neighborhood right over here. People are suffering. I mean, It's like they don't know how to figure out how to get the next check that comes in, or stimulus, or it's an immigrant neighborhood. So it's like the bubble. Those are the people, by the way, who support you as celebrities. So come on, Jenna, you are so connected. This is why I appreciate it's a good bridge to why I think there's synergy. I don't like doing a ton of collaborations unless I really love the people that I'm working with, because my fashion is an extension of me. And I got to tell you, it's easy working with someone who has got a good heart, a good soul, who's funny, who can doesn't make me feel like when I say something, it's like, it's like that, a weird thing to put on a shirt. But it's pretty amazing when you work with synergistic people who want to give back to the community. And you are tied to the community. You're tied to the gay community. You're tied to every community. You're a compassionate, empathetic human being.
I'm happy to be part of it. I'm so grateful to be part of it. I really wanted to be part of something. I didn't know. I started to look into it, and then literally you called that night. I was like getting heart palpitations. So it was fabulous. It was perfect.
Can I tell you how the whole thing happened though, Alex? Was so funny. So I've got this this guy who I would call him a kid. And he's not a kid. He's 30 years old. It's like I have this bad habit. I'm like insulting every millennial in the world, but I've got this kid. He's gonna be a kid. This kid who works for me, and he is obsessed with music. He's my photographer. Oh, yeah. And when the pandemic started to happen, I was like, I gotta have at least one person here. He's a single gay dude, and I'm like, you know what? Why don't you kind of come here?
What's his phone number?
He's very cute. He's a little hotter. So I've got this. He comes up to me, and I'm like, I had just posted something. I had drawn a T-shirt because you inspired me, Luciana. Remember I did the Louboutin on the face, which we need.
I've got that here. Do you want to see it?
Yeah. So yes, that would be a good one to pull out. So I've got this. I see this piece of art comes to my head, and I'm like, let me sketch this thing. And as a joke, I tag. I've known Luciana for some time, so I tag her, and I'm like, I did this for you, babe, as a joke. And Chris, who works for me, goes, do you know Luciana? I'm like, dude, what do you mean, do I know her? He's like, but people follow you, but do you know her? And I'm like, yeah, we're friends. And the look on his face, he goes, and behind that goes,
How did you guys meet?
To me, he literally knows more about her life than she does.
When you did Covered in Punk, and I remember that video when you did that. I'm like, oh, did I do that? I said, when did I do this video then? He knows in there he is. He knows in chronological order my life more than me.
So this kid knows the whole kid. Sorry, I'm gonna keep on calling you kid. But I would kill for someone to call me kid. Knows everything about this. So I was like, this is a good synergistic place to be for designing. I'm like, you know what? Sometimes it's hard to get in touch with talent. You don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah,
it's
of course.
So you want to make sure it's got the vibe, and sometimes there's a double entendre to the lyrics. So I was like, Chris, tell me.
Chris, tell me about Luciana.
Where was Luciana in April of
Yeah.
1999. She was recording this.
She had this for breakfast.
Yeah, she had, I saw her.
Pretty much. No, but yeah, so that's kind of how this whole thing happened. And then the next thing is we start Zooming together. And it was like,
What was nice, Alexander, he's very cheeky, you know, and he's a bit dirty and a bit naughty.
Yeah, the connection was there between all of us.
Yeah. So I always.
But that's what I love about you. That's what I love about you. You're so down to earth and you're so real, not putting on airs. And you're like, okay, let's get to the point. Who, what, why, where? Let's do it.
Yeah,
and that's what I love. And that is Daniel's personality too.
Yeah, totally. I'm a worker. I think I'm a worker. Daniel's like triple the worker that I am. It's insane.
Oh, I thought you said wanker.
Well, that too.
But Daniel's no, his work ethic is insane. I literally can't keep up with him. He'll like text me at like 11 at night and he's working. And it's like, so yeah, it is really wonderful to be asked to be part of this. I'm really, really, like I said, really grateful.
And the designs, the colors, everything is so vibrant, which is bringing such a life to this dull time that we're at. You know, everything is just very, very dull. But I want to know how, and we have a video of here, you actually making one of the shirts there.
Oh yeah, everything's backwards. Everything I do is backwards. What's going on with me?
Hey.
It's like, that's what happened in the DJ Live Instagram set when I'd written everything backwards. But yeah, so this is the Holy Shit, I Fucking Love You t-shirt.
Yeah. So it's bringing this life to what we're all going through, which I absolutely love. But Daniel, tell me how this is helping put food in mouths.
So this is amazing. So
yeah, this is amazing.
If you have a small business, I have to recommend, like, this is it's all about alignment. I've always been very, very reticent to do something where it's like, damn, and the proceeds go to, like, prove it.
Yeah.
This I reached out to a company called Shop for Good. They're based right here in Los Angeles. A really fabulous woman named Mel who runs it. And I was like, look, I want to do something, but I don't want to wait 4 months for it to happen. I want to see something happen now. You know, I'm speed to market. Like I do something, you know, before you finish the sentence, like it's in front of you. She hooked me up with the most amazing people at the Westside Foodbank right here in Los Angeles. And I'm like, how do you quantify this? All right. So I'm going to give you money. What does it do? Who does it feed? Unbelievable. This was what woman Genevieve says. All right, here's the deal. $1 buys 4 meals.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, and I love about the Westside Foodbank is they're the supplier to all of our favorite charities, like Meals on Wheels, to God's Love We Deliver, to every agency that deals with children, you know, you name it, a friend in your circle, the 6 degrees of separation, you know, your girlfriend who's got, you know, at home, her kids are at home with her now, elderly people, LGBTQ youth. I mean, the Westside Foodbank is feeding them. And what they do is they buy in bulk, you know, so you give them money, they take that $1 and they're going to take that $1 and every other dollar they have, and they're going to buy, you know, they compete against bonds. They go out and like buy bulk food and then distribute. So this is the amazing equation for us. And Lucia, I'm really proud of you. I don't know.
So you told me this.
I don't know. I want to wait to tell you this, the real number. All right. So it's pretty amazing.
Drum roll.
We just launched this. It warms my heart to see.
Yeah, me too.
On both sides, the support from your fan base, from my fan base, and the ability to do something. It feels good right now. Your hands are tied to actually be able to say, hey, guess what we did today? Guess what we did in 24 hours? We broke over 1,000 meals. Over 1,000 meals. It's, you know, one T-shirt is basically creates, you know, we're taking a big portion of it and putting it towards a real donation. So one T-shirt is $10. $1 is 4 meals. One T-shirt is 40 meals. The journey cost over 1,000. It's probably close to 1,500 meals right now. That means 1,500 people.
Oh, that makes me cry. That's just absolutely.
You know, and the thing I love about what you're doing is that it's like, it was so organic, and it was the main mission about what we're trying to do. And it's good.
You just found that out today, didn't you?
I was tallying it up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I just love that. Okay,
Yeah. So
how nice is that we've done that?
yeah.
You know what I mean? We've made people smile. You've bought a T-shirt. You've just had some fun with that, and that's happened as a result of it.
And I got a cuddle.
Brilliant. You don't say cuddle, do you?
I say cuddle. What they don't know is that we were actually separated at birth. That's my Siamese sister.
Alexander, what do you think of his accent? You think he's got a good
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm doing his Irish accent.
Oh, that's good. Give me your Irish accent.
Who, me?
Yes.
Oh, George, I'm not going to eat a potato. I don't get a potato. We're done here.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's like from Snatch. You watch Snatch too many times.
You like dogs.
Wait, did you say Snatch?
You like dogs.
And I just love that there's this creativity that's happening. There's this kind of Luciana, another aspect with the fashion. And it's something fun that's helping people. It's a way to be creative during this all.
But just like with the Daniel called it just at the time when we were creating this website. Obviously, I've got the music up. All these fabulous things are happening. I've got all these new releases. Will Sparks, the new Mogwai remix, all stuff that's great. And then obviously the art, which is what I'm,
Yeah. Beautiful.
Because I said I didn't want to wear drag tights at 50. I'm going on stage wheeling them out. But so I'm like, right, do your art. I'm really, really getting involved in it. It's fabulous. And then Daniel just came out of the blue with this, and I'm like, what a fabulous thing to be involved in. So I'm really, really, really happy. And now that website looks bloody amazing as a result.
It does.
Yeah.
Daniel, I need that T-shirt, Luciana girl.
The little off-the-shoulder number that I've got over here.
Oh, I love it. Oh, girl.
Tanya bought one. Oh,
Can I wear it for you? Wait, hold on. There we go. Needs to be off the shoulder.
Elizabeth Taylor's had too much to drink.
She got
Not the first time somebody said
Obviously, not just Elizabeth Taylor.
That looks lovely on you. Looks very sexy.
Really? You think so? I'm trying to gain it up a little bit
Off the shoulder.
Off the shoulder.
Totally go. Tanya, that's
Luciana, tell me about your new music. When can I download, click, love, share, saturate?
Oh, I love that. When can I download, click, love, share? Oh, click.
Wait a minute. I know that's a really good T-shirt.
Download, click, love, share.
I'm going to write that down. Wait, download, click, love, share.
But don't forget to tell them where you can buy the fabulous T-shirts that you're having that are going for.
Hey, you buy the fabulous T-shirt, you go and you click buy now. So then it goes to Daniel's site, and then it happens from there. It's all very, very simple.
It's actually
very simple, very streamlined.
You can go. There's 2 places you can go. So I highly support it because you can go to. So we're like married. We're like linked together.
Yeah.
So
he's my gay husband.
So if you go to Luciana.com, which guys I highly suggest, because if you go to
it's a beautiful site. It's so easy to use.
Epic.
Really appreciate
that. My website.
It took us forever to do, so thank you. I really do appreciate that. Go on, sorry, Daniel.
Oh no, I love it. I mean, listen, I'm so proud of you that like the website, like not making me look bad or anything like that.
You know what
Your site looks amazing. So is that a Thigh Master?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Sorry.
Real. Digressing. Just digressing.
What you don't know is I'm doing my Kegels as we speak.
That's the wind that you hear.
If you go to Luciana's website, if you go to shop, it links right to the collection page.
Yeah.
So, or you could go to my website, DanielSheehan.co. Luciana's a lot easier to remember. Boom. You can go check it out there, and you can. It's fun. It's entertaining.
Yeah.
You got to entertain a little bit. I'm a fashion entertainer, and you're just an all-around entertainer.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you are.
Thanks.
Alexander, can I just say it was lovely to meet you. I'm sure we met somewhere. Have we not met somewhere back in the day?
You know, you remind me so much of Sarah McGuinness, and she's also from London.
Well,
But
I'll look her up, Sarah McGuinness. She sounds Irish.
you guys would have a party time.
Would be
Yeah.
we getting drunk together.
Okay, so but tell me about your new music.
Okay, so the new music, I've got a new Will Sparks coming out called Anything Can Happen in the Next 5 Minutes.
I made you a t-shirt.
True story.
Yeah, true story. And he's made a t-shirt. Actually, let's just go back to where's my spine is tingling t-shirt. She's got t-shirts galore. Have you got the My Spine is t-shirts?
Oh.
My Spine is t-shirt. Hello, what am I talking about?
Oh wait,
My spine is tingling.
what about your
Yes.
spine is tingling?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. So
I love that.
sexy.
All right, so then we got the Mogwai, you know, the Faith, the Mogwai track. That was really, really big. That happened. And then we got remixes coming out of that. I got a new track coming out with Toast, and I've also done another track with Juan Magán. And I'm working on some more Latin tracks. I'm always working and I'm always writing. So it's
I love it.
Yeah. I've always got to do that. I always got to do that because it makes me happy. Now I don't have to write for a cross between Pink or Avril Lavigne. I'm just writing for myself. And I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that. That's cool. It's just I feel very grateful to be able to be creative on a day-to-day basis.
I love it.
Isn't it?
Okay. We're going to take one more quick break. When we come back, we're doing rapid fire with Luciana and Daniel when we come back.
Okay, cool.
And we're back. All right, we're going to play a little rapid fire. Who wants to go first?
Me.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Luciana, what is the most overrated?
Because I'm going to Nikki's answers if I don't do it. Go on.
What's the most overrated song?
Oh fuck! He should have answered this. So here it is, Merry Christmas, everybody. Now I do like it, but I mean, you know, I'd like something else. Carry on.
Yeah, okay. You can do a duet with any celebrity who has passed. Who is it?
Sam Cooke. Or
Okay.
yeah, Sam Cooke's the only one I can come up with. I love
Yeah.
him. Or Nat King Cole.
What's the most embarrassing song on your playlist that if we heard, we'd be like, girl, what are you listening to that song for?
I'm going to say this. I don't have any embarrassing songs on my playlist.
Oh,
Okay.
come on.
Okay. No, that's good. I mean, she loves her music.
Songs are really
Mine is
cool.
Hanson's Mbop. I still have Mbop on my...
Oh, yeah, but that's a good pop song. See, that's not embarrassing. That's a good pop song. I wish I'd written it.
And they grew up to be fine gentlemen.
Yeah.
Luciana, what's the worst onstage mishap you've ever had?
My boobs came out. I'm like this, when you're 18, like you just sort of like getting to know yourself, you're doing all this. I was thinking, "Fill me up, buttercup baby, not to let me down." And then, then all my top came up there, and then all of a sudden when I put my arm back down, my boobs got pressed down. Like this. All you could see was the boobs.
And Janet Jackson was the audience writing notes on that one. Luciana, who would play you in a biopic based on your life?
I think Divine. Oh, Christine. Yeah, Divine.
That would be one hell of a performance.
I smell a t-shirt.
Oh, God. Someone who's fun.
Okay, Daniel, you're up for rapid fire.
Oh, okay.
Go.
The worst fashion trend that you fell victim to in your past.
Well, that's a good question. What did you say?
Rompers.
I love rompers. I love rompers.
No, I'm kidding. The worst fashion trend that I ever fell into.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna be like your playlist. I don't think I really did fall into any bad ones.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think they're all appropriate to the time. There's no mistakes, right?
I like that. That's a good answer.
I used to wear those raver pants that were like the huge bottom.
Oh,
like
that's
the
the parachute trousers.
Is that
Those were bad.
is this any time in your life, or is like in my professional career?
In your whole life.
Oh, do you know what? Do you remember the Z Cavarici pant? Do you remember this one? It's the one that folds over. It had like It had a thing and like the MC Hammer pant. Well,
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, there was a time when I'm from Long Island. So on Long Island, there was a time when I tweezed my eyebrows right underneath here. I had a high arch.
Oh, nice. High arch.
It had a high arch. It was good. That's the way I look like at my prom. Yeah. I was styling. Yeah.
Love it.
All right, Daniel, who's a celebrity that you think is in most need of a clothing makeover by you?
Ooh, God, most need.
Oh, that's a very, very good question.
Ooh, clothing makeover by me. The hard thing with celebrities is their public persona and their real life persona. I won't say it. They're two very different things. So let me think about who needs a good fashion makeover. God, male or female, or do I have both?
Either.
One or the
I want to do Kesha.
Oh yeah, Kesha needs a bit. She needs to be
I just feel like there's something always goes for me. So yeah.
She always looks like
pretty girl, got like interesting vibe for her. I just feel like there's something like on the side. So
it always looks like somebody gave her $20 and said, "Hey, go to this thrift store." Like she was on a game show and she had to put that outfit together.
Yeah, like she put the lipstick on, like
yeah, exactly. Daniel, what's your most favorite piece of clothing from your own collection that you just love? It's your favorite.
My favorite piece. I don't make leather anymore, but it has to be my leather holster. It's like personal.
They kept selling out all the time.
Yeah, they're always at, but it was my father had left
everything.
So it was it's such a very special piece to me. So it's a leather holster that holds a phone.
Love that.
Love it. Yeah. Love it.
Worst date you've ever had?
Worst date I've ever had with the hottest guy that I've ever seen in my life.
And it was the worst date?
Worst date of my whole entire life. You know, I am so insecure when you get inside, like when you get in front of somebody. That's why it's like I always like I'm the type of guy that's kind of like, he's not that cute, perfect for me. Yeah. I want to be the attractive one in this relationship. Yeah. Worst date because I got shit-faced and I threw up on him.
I love that. That's just a Wednesday afternoon for me.
We dated for 2 years.
Daniel, what celebrity would you want to share your quarantine bed with?
Bradley Cooper, done.
We do have a bit of Bradley.
Yes.
He's so boring. He's like wet toast.
Oh no, but he's Bradley Cooper.
He can be wet toast, dry toast, green toast, moldy toast, whatever.
French toast, yeah.
Tell me something, girl. Tell me something, girl.
I'll be your gaga.
All right, everybody, you need to go to Luciana.com. Also go to DanielSheehanandCompany.com. And all the links all the links are there. Go visit on Instagram. You can see the fashion on the website. You can click. You can be fashionable during this pandemic and help people. And what I love about the fashion, you can wear it after we're done with the pandemic and you'll already be looking 10 times cooler. And I have to say, that's another episode of On the Rocks. It's always a grab bag of fun every week. Give us a like, a subscribe, a share, send nudes, because I'm bored. And head to ontherocksradioshow.com for all of this fun for free. And hopefully we'll be back in the studio soon. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay tipsy. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Love that. I love that.
This has been another episode of On the Rocks. Tweet me. All right, I'm going to send you guys all of the links. Slide into my DMs on Twitter and Instagram at On the Rocks On Air. Find everything On the Rocks for free at ontherocksradioshow.com. Subscribe, like, review, and share. Until next week, stay fabulous.